This meeting being transcribed.
Pledge allegiance to the
Flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for coming. It's going to be kind of a short meeting. We have no resolutions. But first, approval of the minutes of June 29th.
Make motion.
Have more, please. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
No resolutions. And we have one review discussion on the amendment to the workplace violence prevention program. It's the changes over on the third page under risk management. Second paragraph with the department head's going to do the evaluation. What's that?
Apologize for these late.
So that's the only paragraph we got to review. So anybody got stuff?
I looked at on page 10, which is beginning 2026, the annual risk assessment shall be conducted by the department head. Were there any negative findings or has that been done yet in 2026?
These annual reviews are something we started.
We just started,
It's the
okay.
change, yeah.
And then page 12, number of violent acts of government workers in New York State. I think that information is missing, maybe the new information that's being gathered.
Where are you looking?
Page 12, it's a single line, number of violent acts of government workers in New York State.
That's the course we have to take.
Yeah.
That's one of the courses we have to take.
Okay. Number of violent, what's the name of the course, number of violent acts?
That's how it's listed there.
It's a training outline.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other question? We have a motion to approve it.
Mr. Chairman, can I suggest that
Yeah.
the motion, the approval of pending finance personnel's approval?
Right.
Let's go through them.
What? Finance,
Finance and personnel also sees this.
we had to approve it, the committee, so approve it before it goes to the floor.
So if finance and personnel does not approve it, then there's gotta be changes and we'll come back to
So it's
it.
like three committees that,
Thank you.
So I'll make a motion.
all, first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Boards and committees that come through.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Pretty short. I just want to focus on DMV real quick. I used to be able to give you numbers every month, but the way that we're getting reimbursed from the state, I am like 2 months behind, so I can't give you all those numbers anymore. So I will give you our most accurate numbers completed month, which is May. So year over year, we're about 200 transactions short. I was in our dealer side. But that's about normal for May. We'll jump back up in June, from what I've seen, with preliminary numbers so far. Outside of that, we're at full capacity right now for DMV. And taking that new principal account clerk that you, so graciously, upgraded my senior to and, training her at this point, and that's going really well for us. And, helping to, keep our reporting, especially the numbers that are coming from the state, so staggered as when we're getting them, keeping them everything together for us. So outside of that, just doing our normal routine.
Good. Are you any questions for? Kim?
Morning, everyone. Just a quick update on broadband. We did get our extension to June 30th of next year, which is incredibly welcome news. That allows us to complete the project by June and get reimbursed by June. It also allows us to cover costs of the department through half of next year. So it'll be also good news for the budget, as we will not have to pick up the remainder until the second half of the year. The RFP for the ISP went back out again. I think I mentioned last month we may have to do that, and we did. And so we moved pretty quick on that. We're using the bare minimum time that the state required, which is 3 weeks. So that will come out, or I'm sorry, that will be awarded at the end of August. So that's a really crucial piece of this project. They're the ones who will actually hook up the homes that we're driving by. They're the ones who will provide them the service. Think of Spectrum. They're not Spectrum, but that type of person will be for the user. Still be somebody who can hook them up to the internet, who give them an option that isn't Spectrum. And we're really encouraged by that, because what we've seen is that where a second ISP comes into town, creates competition, no longer a monopoly, prices drop substantially. And on average, they go from anywhere between $80 to $100, which is what people are paying for internet right now. And it's slower internet, it's coax cable. It'll drop to somewhere between $40 to $50 is what we're seeing when this company comes through. Again, much, much faster internet as well. So that's encouraging news, and that we will find out who will be that partner with us. I think I reminded you all last month that the company Empire, who we originally had been working with for the last 2 years, ultimately pulled out because the project had changed so substantially, which I think we've talked about for every month, how that was happening because of the timeline. So we do anticipate at least 2 respondents, and hopefully a few others to really give us a good choice. We're going to move obviously pretty quick because we need to. They're also required to do the marketing. So as you can imagine, your house gets passed by the broadband, you may or may not even realize it. So this company's job is to make sure everyone who now is available gets information on what it would cost and how to hook up and all of that. And we also will have an agreement through this that the county will retain a small portion of that. So in the past, we've talked about like $5 out of every month's payment would come to the county to help service some of the debt and some of the overhead that we have. But still, again, we want to keep it very affordable. So we're hoping not to make it too arduous on the company, because they'll pass it through to the user. We don't want that either. So other than that, we did finish installing all 7 of our POPs. Those are the point of presences. They're these little huts that live strategically on the route we just built. And they're kind of the brain centers, and they needed to be on property that we owned. So probably remember over the last 6 months, we've been working to get that done, and thankfully that has been completed. That was a crucial step to this. And again, the extension in June allows us to not have to try to install power lines in December and November up north, or anywhere else really for that matter. So again, encouraging news. I feel like we're in a good place, and there'll be really no negative updates for this month. Any questions? Yes, sir.
So the companies that you're talking about that are gonna make the connection to the homes, you haven't picked one out yet, right?
No, we will. The RFP will open on the 21st. So that's when we decide.
And how many do you have to choose from?
Well, technically, there are 2 we know of that are operating in this space that are interested. But because it's a open call, it could be potentially more than that. But we know of at least 2.
And those are local, state, country?
They're local, local to the region, I would say. Because the RFP is open, I want to be really careful on exactly what I say. But ultimately, they are entities that we believe could complete the project and are local enough, either have projects in Oswego County already or are in the process of building out.
And these will be the companies that maintain the system?
That'll be part of the agreement. It'll be a maintenance agreement so that the county wouldn't necessarily have to have a bunch of staff who goes and fixes things.
Thank you.
Okay, and then real quick update on ARPA. As you know, that it has to be completed by the end of this year. That was not extended. We are working, I would say, pretty actively to get those all closed out. We believe there will be probably another $20,000 that may be coming back, that we're still trying to figure out a way to spend it in the community. But they're struggling to find a way to do that. So I will have an update next month with exact details. And I do know that the administrator has plans so that we don't lose those funds, that we can utilize them elsewhere. Because again, as ARPA funds, they have to be spent by the end of the year, or essentially they're gone.
So it's gotta be done by end of December 31st.
That's correct. And spend according to an agreed upon plan.
Right.
So, Bill, I don't know if you want to give
A lot of ARPA was, the main thrust of the ARPA fund was employment, so we can use leftover ARPA monies in workforce development programs. And so what we did is, anticipating that might be some small balances in different ARPA accounts, is the internal agreement with workforce development placed an upper limit the budget number is lower, based on what we knew at the time, but there's a higher number in the agreement, so we would be able to transfer any unused balances over into workforce development. Good example is it was 85,000 that was transferred in for a program, a month or so ago. We may be able to replace, say, 20,000 of that with that money.
Any other questions? Thank you very much. Group property?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I have my annual report, to present on and pass around. We could take one and pass. I have plenty of copies for anyone that would be interested in having one. But I did do a little screen or a slideshow here, just to cover a couple of the key things from it. This. So I hope that you peruse the whole report. And not just because I took the time to make it, but because there's a lot of good information in it. So on page 5, we have the department revenue, which we're not a money-making office. We don't make a lot of revenue, since our primary duty is to assist and be the liaison between local governments and state government on all things assessment, administration related and property tax related, but we do have some revenue. We have our tax mapping revenue for making copies and selling data files. Our general services to other governments, typically in the tax bill printing and preparation and levy apportionments with school districts and things services that we provide to local governments, and then the land bank reimbursement, which is the reimbursement for the director of the land bank. 100% reimbursed. Hello. Why are you not cooperating? There we go. I guess we need the mouse now. I was going to use the keyboard. And then this is also just the number of billing files, printed tax bills, tax rolls that we do, just to give you an idea. What we do throughout the year is more than just the county, because we do the school, the villages, all of that as well. Page 7 has our real property fact sheet. One thing I'd like to give credit to our mappers for is about a 30% increase last year in the number of tax map corrections that they've done. That's just any time that a parcel gets updated because they were doing a split in the area or a merge in the area and they noticed something was wrong. You know, the boundaries are off and they fixed it. They've been getting quicker, and I'd like to thank IT as well for working on getting some of that software working better for them and a little speedier. The bottom portion with the assessed value and taxable values, everything going up about 1%. That's to be expected. Nobody did any major revaluations this year, but the equalization rate of the county did drop another 5%, just because assessments aren't being kept with pace with market values. Let's see. There is not, as Facebook believes, a county assessor. There are instead multiple appointed assessors throughout the county. There were 3 changes this last year. City of Fulton has a new assessor, Anna Arthur. She was appointed a few months back. Patrick Duffy is the new assessor in the town of Hastings. And Rebecca Trudell is in Parish. She's also the assessor in Sandy Creek. So she's not new to the county, she's just new to Parish. On page 19 is a chart of equalization rates. Should bring that there. Maybe that's up there. So these are the equalization rates that the state adopted for all of the towns in our county, along with last year's rate and the percent change in estimated full value. This column C, is important. because this shows the swing in tax levy. So when the tax levy gets apportioned out, the county and the school tax levies, if you are above average on this change in market value, then you're probably going to be seeing a increased apportionment of that levy. The average, or the median, actually, I should say, if you're above the median. Median's 10%, so town of Richland and town of Constantia are at the median on this list. So anybody above 10% is probably going to see a larger share of school and county taxes when those come out. And this map here, which is on page
18.
Yeah, 18. So actually the prior page to that chart is the levels of assessment around the county. Everyone seems to be hovering around that 50 to 60% range. West Monroe is still at 100%. They do a cyclical reassessment program where every year they keep their market or their assessments at market value, and it's been working really well for them. But you can see even the city of Oswego that did a reassessment a couple of years ago has already dropped down to 90%. It's just those market values continue to rise and outpace assessments year over year. Let's see. Pages 20 to 21 kind of summarize this market value survey that New York State does every year. So I pulled the data out for just our county so that we can talk about it. 46% of our municipalities are currently achieving assessment uniformity as far as what the state considers it to be. And that's shown on this chart that was on page 20. So just a few things to try and explain about this. There are warning signs in the COD, which stands for coefficient of dispersion, and PRD, which stands for price-related differential. These are just two metrics to analyze assessments versus sales prices of homes, actual sales prices, to see how uniform the assessments are in these communities. When a COD is above 20%, that indicates poor uniformity. When a PRD is less than 0.98%, it means that assessments are progressive. Your low-value properties are underassessed, your high-value properties are overassessed. And when a PRD is above 1.03, they're regressive, where your low-value properties are overassessed, your high-value properties are underassessed. When these warning signs appear, that's when a municipality should start looking at reassessments. Two such places that are in desperate need, in my opinion, are the towns of Constantia and Sandy Creek. They both have coefficients of dispersion that are very high, and they have PRDs that are indicating that assessments are very regressive, meaning their low-value properties are very underassessed, or very overassessed, I'm sorry, and their high-value properties are very underassessed. And so reassessment projects are designed to look at all of those properties individually and balance the playing field and make everybody closer to what their true market value would be and make those assessments more fair and uniform.
How often is that?
So there's no strict requirement to do reassessments. There are state guidelines that say they should be done about every 4 years. But most places don't do that. Most places don't do them every 4 years. Actually, this map will show the state, everyone that has reassessed since 2023 in the state. And we have two, City of Oswego, Town of West Monroe. And only 36% across the state have done reassessments in the last 4 years. It's just not something that's done. And we can see with the City of Oswego's reassessment project, it was not popular with the public. And that's the main reason I think that a lot of governments don't like to do these projects, is because there's a lot of pushback from people that don't want them done. But I think it's very important for places like Constantia, Sandy Creek right now, where their assessments are so wildly different that two houses in those towns aren't even remotely assessed correctly. Or I guess I shouldn't say aren't, they could be. not even close. But that's what those metrics are supposed to show, is those are warning signs for the municipality to know you should be looking at reassessment projects.
Is there any way to hold them accountable?
By us? No, not really. The state, it should be the one that's holding them accountable, because they should be offering more state aid for these projects. Like I said, they're not popular and they're expensive for municipalities to do. And so the state used to step in with state aid, but we all know that they don't really do that anymore.
$5 a parcel that didn't pay for half of the.
Exactly, yes. And it's not even a guarantee. You know, if there's just a pool of money and municipalities that go through these projects can apply for it. They may not get all the money back, they may not get any money. I know West Monroe is supposed to be getting more money than they get, but because they're on this cyclical reassessment project, they're at the bottom of the food chain as far as getting reimbursement from it, so. Let's see.
The other thing too, Cory, is that
Yeah,
I talked to Thomas Sesson, one of his towns, net accountants, they went through a whole 100% assessment.
Mhm.
And it cost them thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And the first year they raised it 100%.
Mhm.
Next year, it dropped 10%.
Right.
Okay, so there's not much of an incentive here. And the state used to come out, they used to come out about every 3 to 5 years and do an on-site inspection of the assessment.
Mhm.
And also help you if you needed it, they help you do upgrades. They don't do that.
right.
They don't come to the site, they don't inspect it, they just across the board, drop the percentage.
The state used to offer a lot more support to local assessors that they just simply don't anymore.
That's why the towns are not
Mhm.
too excited about doing the assessment, because it doesn't benefit them at all. And the tax rates, in the town, it goes up substantially.
Right. Right. And this chart I did want to show on this one, so if you look at the town of Schuylkill, for example, Schuylkill has the lowest equalization rate in the county. I believe it's 45%, meaning their assessments are at 45% of market value. But their coefficient of dispersion and their price-related differential, which are two of the warning signs, are actually very good. So Schuylkill, while their assessments are so far away from market value, looks like a bad sign at the front. They're actually much more uniform assessments than other places. So even though they're not the same as market value, they're still fair and equitable. And the equalization rate is just really a tool that gets used to apportion out tax levies like the county and the school. So, you know, you can still have uniformity, you can still have fairness, even with low equalization rates. But you do need that support from, I think, the state when those warning signs crop up and you want to go through a reassessment project and you need support from the state as far as money is concerned. So on page 27, we have this full value tax rate comparison of other counties that are within the same central region that we're in. So these are tax rates that are calculated by the state comptroller using full value, which makes them a good metric to compare against. Last year, I had shown where we fell as far as the median. This year, we are the median. So we're right in the middle as far as our full value tax rate is concerned for the central region. $5.98 per thousand. Pages 27 to 30 cover the rest of those charts as far as comparing the towns, the villages, the schools. When you aggregate those, add them all together, the highest full value tax rate is still City of Fulton, $40.70 per thousand for, that's everything, county, city, school, all combined together, and that was the same as last year. The lowest full value tax rate aggregate is Albion, same as last year as well, $20.20. The highest average annual tax for a single family home comes out to around $6,400 in the town of Scripple, same as last year. So you could call it the most expensive place to live in the county. And the cheapest place to live in the county being Amboy, which was Village of Sandy Creek last year. So Amboy is the reigning king of cheapest place to live in the county, I guess. When you look at it this way. So I think that was it. That was the end of the slide, but yeah. Does anybody have any questions? I know you just got it, so, but I'm happy to answer anything. And if you have anything at any time.
So on page 19, you said the median was 10%.
10%, correct, yes.
So anyone below 10%, their taxes are going down?
They could, yeah. If all things remain the same, all the tax levies remain the same and everything else, they could see a lower share of county and school taxes if they're below the 10%.
I like that.
Any other questions for? Public Trend.
Thank you. Happy to report, we had another full-time attorney start, doing well, here a couple of weeks, over he was. He had 2 years' experience coming in, so he was able to jump in and start off running. Our recruitment has turned into a year-long recruitment process. We have extended an offer to a law student who won't even graduate till next May, take the bar next July. It's getting crazy, but this is what we have to do. It's also what makes it hard because between now and then, this person we offer to may get other offers and they, decide to turn us down and then we gotta start over. Fortunately, we can't give contingent offers saying, well, if the spot opens up, we'll hire you. It just doesn't work that way. Right now, we're starting, as I'm sure everyone really knows, we're starting the budget season. So we are focusing on that. One of the difficulties that my office and the state council faces is that we have a new state contract which provides for a significant amount of our funding coming up. Probably somewhere around the start of the first thing. So but we really haven't heard too much from the state other than, at least I haven't. Rachel may have more for you, but there's been some talk of some increase in funding, but nothing overwhelming. So that's where we're at.
Okay, any questions? Attorney Council.
Yes, thank you. As Brad was stating regarding the Pearl Herring contract that is set for a new April 1st, the increase they have reported to us is there would be a 10% increase overall. The state is difficult to get an answer out of regarding the grants. For instance, we are still waiting on our Cap 5 contract, which is that is what funds the county's cap court program 100%, zero cost to the county. We've been promised those funds. They've said that they agree with our contract. We do not have a signed contract by the state back yet, which means we cannot make any claims on it. So just for the assigned counsel for the first 2 quarters, that's about $60,000. I'm not sure what amount goes to the PD, but it's a significant chunk of change that we have yet to collect from the state. I reached out to them last week. I do not have an answer yet. The rumors are that it's at the comptroller's office. So hopefully we will have that soon. The assigned counsel office has a little over $600,000 in claim money still outstanding with the state. We've submitted those grants. We're waiting for that money to come back. We do have about $90,000 left over from past contracts that I've submitted an extension for. I've yet to hear back from the state about those as well. $90,000 isn't a significant amount of money when you look at our budget, but it is money that was promised to us, Wego County. So I would like us to be able to utilize that for future contracts. The most concerning thing for me, for my office, is DCJS has, for the past 2 years, they have automatically awarded Oswego County 2 $300,000 grants. We do not have to submit anything for that. It's simply an award. In the past, we split those 50-50 between the ACP program and the PD department. We received one award for a little over $300,000. I reached out recently about the second award to inquire where that was, because in the past 2 years, they've distributed them simultaneously. So I found it odd that they distributed one but not the other. They informed me that we actually now are required to do a proposal on how we are to use the money. So we, meaning Brad and I, are working on getting that submitted as well. Now, I don't know if they can deny our proposal. I don't know if they can reduce our award. We do not know, and DCJS has no information for us. So a lot of unknowns with the state, but we will certainly keep on top of it, keep the committee updated.
Any questions? Or what?
Morning.
More.
August is pretty much about over for training and ballot creation. We're starting today, our trainers are coming in, we have a new curriculum, new test requirements that Matt and I made together. We're waiting on the state. State is supposed to roll out the new training program. They did that, so we did one together. And we'll start that today. And then making ballot. We're meeting that today's the deadline for propositions. So we're have to wait till the end of the day, and once we have all these deadlines passed, we can start creating a new ballot.
We have open slots for poll workers for about 416 people. There are places where both parties are strong, there are places where both parties are weak. We're reaching out directly to voters at this point, because poll worker involvement is dropping. So we've been targeting, both parties are targeting regular voters of a certain age who might be available to work full day of elections. And legislators or having constituents that come to them with financial concerns, a way to make a little bit of pocket money, just to keep in the back of your mind. Which is that ballot creation is happening, so the period of nominations is over. And other than that, we're looking at next year. We'll probably be here for grant funding receiving next month. So now that the budget is done, we expect that information to come through in August or September.
Anybody got another? Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to introduce Mac Evans.
I was going to bring it up next, my next thing to have you do so. Go ahead.
I'd like to introduce Mac Evans. Mac started as an assistant county attorney today with my office, and he previously was a state's attorney in Florida and a prosecutor in Indiana.
Also, you guys, John Board. Yes.
If I could, I neglected to give one quick update, if you mind, on the broadband project. It'll just take a second. So,
Sure.
So there is also a resolution going through EDP tomorrow. That I wanted to at least give a heads up, and I apologize I forgot to. So, worked with Mayor Rice, Leslie Ardwini. We have had a problem with getting our broadband project across the river in Fulton. And unfortunately, we had believed we were going to be able to get an agreement in place with one of the folks who have line going under. That would be Spectrum Broadband or Spectrum, National Grid, or Windstream. We worked with all three of those to try and find an agreement that would allow us to go through their conduit. So essentially a pipe that goes underneath the bridge. Fortunately, only one of the three of them came back to us with a price to do that. And it was just a very high price. And so ultimately we were looking at an alternate route. We had talked to the city of Fulton a little bit of it's their bridge, and the idea, similar to what we did up in Pulaski on our bridge, the county bridge, is we just attached a 2-inch piece of conduit underneath the handrail on the backside and ran our stuff through that. And so thanks to Rich and to the mayor and some other folks, we were able to put together a proposal that I think really helps everyone. As part of our project, I won't get too deep into this, but essentially if you own something on National Grid light pole and they move it, or they put a new pole in, you are required as the owner of that component to pay to move it from the old pole to the new pole. They put a new pole up, but they charge everyone to move it. Well, City of Fulton owns 28 light fixtures on 28 of our poles, or I'm sorry, National Grid's poles that had to be replaced under our project. And so because of our project, the City of Fulton, because they're the owners, are required by contract to pay to move them to the new poles. And so we worked out an agreement where under our project, we would cover the project, so reimbursable under the grant, would cover the almost $50,000 that the City of Fulton would have had to pay to move those lights that our project, right, required them to do. Kind of in exchange for that, they're allowing us at our cost, and the maintenance would be under the project, to install a 2-inch conduit to run our cable across the United Street Bridge behind the handrail. And so a good example of governments working together to kind of help the taxpayers out, we were able to not have the City of Fulton have to pay $50-something thousand, and we did not have to pay the absorbent amount of money to Windstream or Spectrum to use their line. So that resolution should be coming through EDP, which you folks will all see at the legislative meeting as well. And I believe the City of Fulton Council will be passing kind of the companion resolution as well, allowing that. So no additional cost to anyone. The grant will cover any of the expenses to do these things.
Thank you. Any other items? Resolution to adjourn.
I got unfinished business. Are you ready for this? Are you ready for that?
What is it
I
pertaining?
can't hear you, mister. I can't hear you.
What is it pertaining to?
To the ethics, County Board of Ethics. I'd like to know where that stands. It hasn't been approved yet.
Was tabled in the legislature. I believe that the chair had reached out to some people to see if they're interested. I don't know where that is.
Chairman's not here, so we have no idea.
Okay, I'll bring it up next month.
No, we don't do that. Issue stuff, so. Any other questions? Have more from June?
No.
Approved, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Oh.
So we got that. And
I love this.